are things that are going on now to great extremes that have not existed since the 1930 to 45 period. Reality is reality. A lot of people say they want to fight what reality is. Stop thinking about it being differently. Just understand, like, why did that thing happen to me? And how do I put it in perspective? It's like nature doesn't care about you. It cares about the universe.
Most people think their biggest battles are external. Deadlines, competition, pressure, expectations. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. Dalio says the real enemy is internal. They happen in your decisions, in your reactions, in your patterns, and in the way you interpret reality. This video will show you 7 principles to win those inner battles. Stay tuned, as principle number 6 will change the way you think about your pain and struggles. Most people lose, not because they are incapable, but because they are unaware. They don't understand how they think, why they react, or what drives their choices. And when you don't understand yourself, you can't consistently win against yourself. There is a simple but powerful realization that changes everything. You don't need to know everything to succeed. In fact, success has very little to do with what you know, and much more to do with how you deal with what you don't know. Most people are uncomfortable with uncertainty. They want clear answers, predictable outcomes, and guaranteed results. But life doesn't operate that way. Reality constantly presents situations where you don't have enough information. And in those moments, your ability to think clearly matters more than your desire to be right. This is why principles become essential. Principle 1. Build principles from pain. Principles are not rules imposed from the outside. They are patterns you discover through experience. They are ways of thinking that help you navigate repeated situations. Every time you face a problem, make a mistake, or encounter a challenge, you have an opportunity to extract a principle. And over time, these principles become your internal system for decision-making. Without them, you react emotionally. With them, you respond strategically. Principle 2. Extract principles from repeated mistakes.
And so when you have those experiences, just understand how reality works and also how to approach it better. That's smart, I think. So I think pain is the best teacher. The greatest pains are losing people that I love the most, which then gets me to reflect on the arc of life and what it's all like. Can we be healthy and strong? And what do we need to do? Once you cross a certain line, there's no coming back. The fear and the understanding.
Most people don't build principles intentionally. They move through life reacting, adjusting, and forgetting. They make mistakes, but they don't reflect deeply enough to understand why those mistakes happened. As a result, they repeat them. They encounter similar problems in different forms, and each time it feels new, even though the pattern is the same. This creates a cycle of frustration. You feel like you are working hard, but not progressing in a meaningful way. And this is exactly why Principle 3 matters so much. Principle 3. Align with reality instead of reacting to it. To break this cycle, you need to shift your relationship with reality. Instead of resisting what happens, you need to understand it. Reality is not something you can negotiate with. It operates according to patterns, cause and effect, and principles that exist whether you like them or not. When you ignore reality, you suffer. When you align with it, you gain leverage. This is what separates those who consistently move forward from those who stay stuck. But here is where it becomes difficult. Embracing reality often means facing things you don't want to see. Your weaknesses, your blind spots, your patterns of thinking that don't serve you. Most people avoid this because it is uncomfortable. They protect their ego instead of pursuing truth. They want to feel right more than they want to understand what is real. And that creates a barrier to growth. Principle 4. Kill the ego before it kills your growth. There are 2 major internal barriers that interfere with your ability to make good decisions. The first is your ego. Your ego wants to be right. It wants to protect your image. It resists feedback, avoids criticism, and defends your current beliefs. This makes learning difficult. Because learning requires you to admit that you don't fully understand something. It requires you to be open to being wrong, and that feels threatening to your identity. The second barrier is your blind spots. No matter how intelligent you are, you cannot see everything. Your brain is wired in a specific way. You have strengths, but those strengths are often connected to weaknesses. You may be great at seeing the big picture, but miss important details. Or you may focus on details, but struggle to see long-term implications. Everyone has limitations. The problem is not having them. The problem is not recognizing them. Principle 5, map your blind spots before they run your life. When these two barriers combine, they create a dangerous pattern. You believe you are seeing reality clearly, even when you are not. You trust your perspective without questioning it. You dismiss other viewpoints because they challenge your thinking, and as a result, you make decisions based on incomplete understanding. This is how people end up in repeated cycles of failure, even when they are capable of much more. Winning personal battles requires a different approach. It requires radical honesty with yourself. You need to see your thoughts as they are, not as you wish they were. You need to question your assumptions, test your beliefs, and remain open to perspectives that challenge you. This is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Because the goal is not to protect your ego. The goal is to understand reality well enough to make better decisions. Principle 6, use pain as data. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is changing how you view pain. Most people see pain as something to avoid. They associate it with failure, weakness, or loss. But pain is not the problem. Pain is a signal. It is an indicator that something is not aligned. When you experience pain, it means there is something to learn. And if you respond to it correctly, it becomes a tool for growth. The key is reflection. Pain without reflection leads to repeated mistakes. Pain with reflection leads to progress. That sounds simple, but most people still skip this part. When something goes wrong, instead of reacting emotionally or avoiding it, you need to step back and analyze it. What happened? Why did it happen? What pattern does this reveal? What principle can you extract from this experience? Quick test. What is one mistake you keep repeating? Write it in the comments. This process transforms setbacks into valuable insights. This leads to a simple but powerful framework for handling personal battles. First, you need to define what you want. Without clear goals, you cannot evaluate your decisions effectively. Second, you need to identify the problems that stand in your way. These problems are not obstacles to avoid. They are opportunities to learn. Third, you need to diagnose those problems. This means understanding the root cause, not just the symptoms. Fourth, you design a plan to address those causes. And finally, you execute that plan consistently. Principle 7, turn reflection into repeated execution. Most people fail not because they don't understand this process, but because they don't follow it consistently. They skip steps. They rush to solutions without diagnosing the problem. They avoid execution when it becomes difficult, or they abandon the process when results are not immediate. But progress requires repetition. You need to go through this cycle again and again. That is how growth happens. Another important realization is that success is not about reaching a final destination. It is about continuous evolution. Every time you improve, new challenges appear. Every level of growth introduces new problems. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are progressing. The goal is not to eliminate struggle. The goal is to handle it better. As you apply these principles, something begins to change. You become less reactive. You start to see patterns instead of isolated events. You stop taking things personally and start analyzing them objectively. You develop a level of clarity that allows you to navigate complex situations with more confidence. But you can control how you respond. And that is where the real power lies. Because once you understand how to think clearly, reflect deeply, and act consistently, you are no longer at the mercy of your circumstances. You are no longer reacting blindly. You are making deliberate decisions. You are learning from reality instead of resisting it. And that is what separates those who remain stuck from those who continue to grow. In the end, your success is not determined by what happens to you. It is determined by how you process it, how you learn from it, and how you apply those lessons moving forward. Because personal battles are not won in a single moment. They are won through repeated decisions, consistent reflection, and the willingness to evolve. And once you commit to that process, everything begins to change. Which principle hit you hardest? Comment the number below. Like this video if you are done losing the same internal battle over and over. Subscribe for more ideas that help you think clearly, act better, and grow faster.